Open chords can actually take months to master, and I'm not going to lie, there is going to be work to do on these to get this changes smooth and quick, but in these videos I'm going to show you what I feel is the best way to get you there the fastest. Alright, so this is just a training video that I give my students and I'm passing on to you. So it's in two parts. So part one is going to be the 8 most common chord shapes, how to get them going, and then in part two I'm going to show you how to move them through really, really quick. All right, let's go for it. All right, let's look at the 8 most common open chord shapes. First one is the G. Now to do the G, I put my second finger on the 5th string at the 2nd fret. I put my third finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, and my pinky goes up on the top string, the high E string, at the 3rd fret. Now you can play this either 1, 2, 3 in that same position if you want. However, I urge on the side of the caution to say and follow what I'm going to do here, because for the next chord, I'll just quickly demonstrate this, but like if we're doing a G like this and we got to get to a C, we got to go like that. So there's a lot of hand finger movement going on needed for that. However, if we play the G like this, 2, 3, and 4, and then we can just move straight down in the C, which I'll explain in a minute. All right, so when we learn chords, we have our fingers in place, and then we got to strum all the strings just once. Okay. Once we strum it, what I want you to do is pick through each string low to high. Make sure that every note is sounding nice and clean and clear. All right, so when we play these chords, you want to be right up close to the fret as possible, not back on this side of the fret, just nice and close to the fret. All right. Now, if your finger is doing something like this, like my second finger is going to be touching that open 4th string. So I'm going to get a muted sound there. What I need to do is just adjust my hand so I come around more. You may have to lower the thumb on the back of the neck slightly. So you're right up on your fingertips there. And you get a nice clean chord ringing out. All right. We also want, when we do on the back of there, we got our thumb in position, but when we bring the hand around and fingers onto the fretboard, you're not going to touch this part of the guitar with your hand. All right. So you want to have a nice gap underneath there. All right. So we got the G chord. All right. So fret it, strum it, pick it. All right, there's the 3 steps for all these chords. All right, let's look at the C chord. So I'm taking my index finger and I'm going to place that on the 2nd string at the 1st fret. Okay, then I'm going to take my second finger, put it on fret number 2 of the 4th string, which is our D string, and then my third finger up on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. All right, and if you look at your diagram there, you'll see that there's an X across string 6, so we're not going to strum or play that one in any way. So hand in position, this one's going to require a little bit of patience because it's such a big stretch, but we just got to do the same thing. So we fretted it, we're in position there, you got your diagram so you can refer to it. Then I'm going to strum it from string 5 all the way through to the floor. The high E string, I should say, not to the floor. Okay, and then I'm going to pick it slowly. Right? And I'm looking for any buzzy notes or anything like that, muted strings. So if I've got a buzzy note, it means my finger is generally on the fret and I need to get back off it. Okay, but like you just go through, don't clamp up so you part of your palm is touching the fretboard. You want a nice gap there. And then just adjust your fingers until you can get those each string and each note ringing out nice and cleanly, and there's no buzzers or mutes on there. Alright, so that's the C chord, sorry. Alright, let's look at the F chord. Now, the F chord is not called the F chord for no reason. Okay, it's sort of a miniature bar chord that we got to get around. So we're going to take our first finger, our index finger, and put that flat across strings 1 and 2 at the first fret. Okay, so that's the easy part. All right, because what we got to do now, we got to keep this finger flat and relaxed while we bring our second finger onto the third string at the second fret and up on its tip. So first finger's got to stay flat, we'll bar it across those 2 strings, and our second finger has to stay up on its tip. So we don't want that tip laying down, so we cut out that second string. So it's alright, and this one's best if built from sort of the ground up kind of thing. So we're just working on 3 strings there. Get that sounding right before adding the next part of the chord, which is our third finger, and that comes onto the 4th string at the 3rd fret. You can see there on your diagram. Okay, now tough one because the gymnastics and basically the dexterity that's got to develop in your fretting hand to execute this chord. So first finger stays flat, these 2 fingers, second and third finger, is up on their tips and as close to the fret as possible. So you go strum it. This is only 4 strings. You'll see there's 2 crosses on string 6 and string 5 respectively. So don't strum them, strum from the 4th string down. Right? And then, so we fretted it, strummed it, and now we're going to pick it. Right? Now, that one's going to take a little bit to get. All right, so just the thing with all these chords that I want to say is this hand, your fretting hand, has to be relaxed as possible. All right, so if you've got really high action on your guitar and you're pressing down a long way, go and get it looked at and get the action lowered. All right, but because these are hard enough on human hands, we don't need the extra pressure from a high action there. But yeah, so when you fret the chords, your thumb's on the back. Now that's just there as support. It's not there to press through to the fingers, and your fingers aren't there to press through to the thumb. All right, it's just nice and relaxed, and it's just slightly gripping there. All right, the thumb's there so we don't fall off. Okay, so F chord, fret, strum, pick. All right, let's look at the D chord. So our first finger, index finger, goes on fret number 2 on string 3, right up close to the fret. Now this one is going to be a bit of an exception with that close to the fret rule, because like when we play 2 fingers on the same fret and we're close together string wise, it's near impossible to get both fingers up close to the fret, and that's okay for this because we get what we call both notes ringing out together, so it creates a harmony. So bring your first finger back slightly, roughly about the middle, maybe a bit less than that, to the right hand side, and then bring your second finger, up onto the first string at the 2nd fret, right? And that one goes close to the fret. So we've got the first finger there on string 3, fret 2, and our second finger on string 1 at fret 2, okay? And then our third finger comes in onto the 2nd string at fret number 3, okay? And we're going to strum from the 4th string. Like the F chord, this chord diagram's got 2 crosses on string 6 and string 5, so we don't play them. We're going to play the open D string or the 4th string and strum that through to the 1st string. Okay, so we fret it, first finger, second finger, third finger, strum it, and pick it. Let me do that again, I've got to readjust. Okay. Now, this is all achievable, but the easiest way is just stay relaxed, give yourself time, give yourself patience, and you will get these chords. So the A chord, let's have a look at that now. The A major. All right, our first finger is going to go on string 3 at fret 2. Exactly where it was for the D chord, okay? So we'll look at pivot fingers and guiding fingers very shortly. But like, we got our first finger on the second fret there of the third string. Our second finger is going to come on top of that onto the fourth string, second fret, and we squeeze our little third finger in there, sorry, onto the second string at the second fret there. All right, now you can, if you want, just try and play it as a bar, but I would recommend, as you're learning open chords, is to try and fret it like it is in the diagram there, because when we play chords, some chords will need that first finger, and it just makes it easier to transition between them. All right, so first finger, third string, second fret, second finger, string 4, fret 2, and third finger, string 2, fret 2. All right, now there's a cross against the 6th string, so we're not going to play that. We've got a circle against the A string, so we've got to play that, and we're going to strum that right through to the first string. All right, and then we're going to pick it. All right, again, if you hear any buzzes, any mutes, adjust your hand, bring the thumb down slightly, and push the fingers up. All right, it's just doing that motion, basically bringing the wrist forward a little bit. All right, so fret it, strum it, pick it, and that's your A chord. Okay, let's look at the E major chord, or the open E chord. So again, starting with your first finger, you've got to put that on string 3 at fret 1. Our second finger is going to go on string 5, fret 2. And our third finger directly underneath that on string 4, fret 2. Now, I can't keep my second finger up close to the fret because my third finger is going to come in underneath that. All right, so that's just physically impossible. All right, but my first finger's up close to the fret, second finger's back about halfway through that fret area, and then my third finger is going to be right on up close to the fret without touching. Now, so that's the fretting position. We go to strum it. We get to strum all 6 strings, so there's no crosses on this one. Right. And then we got to pick it through. Right. And you're just going to adjust as you need that hand to make sure that you get no buzzy strings, muted strings, okay? And just bring the wrist forward, roll the fingers up. Make sure you're up on your fingertips, and each knuckle is bent. Right? That's our E chord. A minor chord. You'll notice this is a very similar shape to the E major chord. So we're just going to put our first finger on string 2, fret 1. Our second finger on string 4, fret 2. Keep that about back in the middle there. And our third finger on string 3, fret 2. All right, so that's how we fret it. So you'll see it's exactly like the E major shape we just played. It's just everything's moved down one string. Now, when we strum this, the low E string is got to cross, so we're not going to strum from the 6th string. We're going to start from the 5th string, or the A string there. And we just go to all the way through. Okay? A minor. All right? So, fret it, first finger, 2nd string, 1st fret, 2nd finger, 4th string, 2nd fret, and then our third finger will come onto the third string, second fret. So that's the fret. We strum from the fifth string down to the floor, and now we're going to pick it through. Right. Adjust it if you need to. Make sure there's no mutes, there's no buzzers. All right, we want nice, clean chords. And a relaxed hand will help you so much. All right. So if you're finding that you're really gripping it, relax it. All right. And relax your whole body. You'll be surprised at how much tension you're holding in your body. So just relax the whole body, and that'll make this hand work a lot easier. All right, let's look at the E minor chord. This is the last one of the 8 most common open chord shapes. Probably the easiest of the bunch. So second finger goes on string 5, fret 2. Put that in about the middle of the fret area there. And then our third finger goes on string 4, fret 2. Right, that's it, it's 2-finger chord. And then you just go to strum all 6 strings on this one. Nice sort of airy, open sound. Alright, so we got fretting it, second finger, 5th string, 2nd fret, 3rd finger, 4th string, 2nd fret, strum all 6 strings, and then pick it all through to make sure that you've got all nice clean notes there. Alright, as I mentioned at the start, like open chords can take a while to get going and gets in the way of you playing songs. And if you like a simpler way to get into playing songs as of today, hey, check out my Ultimate 4-Chord Songbook. It's 10 easy songs for adult beginners, and you get in there, the songs are all laid out, just nice and short bite-sized videos for you to understand. Plus, if you choose, there is also weekly coaching in there as well as getting having a chat with a lot of other members, all just learning guitar just like you are. All right, here's the link for that. Just follow that and I'll see you there.